Today we're going to be transforming this firewall from this into this. We've already spent countless hours metalworking the entire rear of this Blazer, getting it almost perfect. But now it's time to finish the last major metalwork on this body in order to finish it up.
When we started the restoration of this 76 Blazer, we had no idea how much work it was going to take to get this truck to the point where it is today. This truck was by far one of the worst I've ever seen. Not a single panel on it was good. Everything needed to be replaced. And the worst part was they don't make all the patch panels that we needed to replace. But that didn't stop us. We got the entire truck completely disassembled. We did this so we could send it off and get it sandblasted. Now that it's blasted, we can start to repair all the rust. The bedsides were removed, which revealed more rust, so we had to separate the body from the bed. We fabricated the front floor from scratch and got all the exterior sheet metal replaced with aftermarket panels. It's to the point where we don't even recognize this truck anymore. Now, it's time to fix the last rusty spot on this Blazer, which of course are the only two things we still haven't touched: the firewall, and by far the more concerning panel, which of course is the roof.
We have to get the roof replaced along with our firewall. We originally weren't gonna replace this, but you can see we've got a lot of raw right here already, so it needs to get cut out. We're gonna be welding in these beautiful, beautiful bead rolled panels. So let's get the Blazer pushed in, that way we can get started on the roof first, and then we'll get to the firewall. Alrighty, the Blazer's in the shop, and now let me show you why we're going to be replacing this roof. First of all, we've got some rust holes right here. It's rusted all along the rear of this. It's got dents all the way across this, but look at this. The whole thing is oil canning, so which means this has been stretched. It would just take way too much time in metalwork and in bodywork to fix this roof, so that's why we're gonna be replacing it.
Now, replacing this roof isn't going to be as straightforward as a regular roof replacement. This aftermarket roof actually belongs to a truck, so it doesn't quite fit the shape of the Blazer. And sadly, they don't make a roof for the Blazer, so this is our only option. So let's see if we can figure out how to get this old roof off.
Alrighty, roof skin is off, and you can see the only major problem we found right here is this brace is rotted through. So we are gonna have to cut this out and patch that. And then back here, we got the roof skin trimmed because this is for a truck roof, and so the edges bow out, so we had to trim this straight, and it was really hard to not warp that. Mike had to cool it with the blower as I was slowly cutting. It took us a minute to get that done, but luckily we didn't warp it. But I mean, overall up here, it doesn't look too bad. So I'm gonna jump on fixing this right now, and then Mike is gonna jump on cleaning all of this and getting this prepped and ready because we're gonna rust seal inside here before we put the roof on. I figured that there was gonna be some issue right here just because of how the roof was rotted. So of course there's a little bit more damage, but we're gonna get that fixed. So we got our truck roof mocked up on our Blazer. We had to do a decent amount of modifications to make this fit. Luckily around the front, it's pretty much the same as the trucks, but we had to carefully slit this and just grind it, keeping the panel really cold, because if this is so thin and if you warp this, we're gonna have tons of mud up here, which is what we don't want. So we got this trimmed up to where now we can push it in, it's flush with this, and then you can see we had to cut it all off back here just because the back of this and the Blazer are completely different. So the truck cab and the Blazer cab are different, which, I mean, it is what it is. So if you ever have to do this to your Blazer, now you know how to do it. So now that we've got this mocked up in place, I've got it screwed in the front here. We're actually gonna pull this back off. We're gonna rust seal the entire underside of the roof and the inner structure just to make sure everything is protected from rust and it won't rot again. And then once this is dry, we're gonna be able to come back, prep everything, and get this roof finalized and welded in.
What did you do? Get it right in there?
Alrighty, well now that the roof is drying, we're gonna start up on our firewall. You can see we started to mock up these patches. This is how it's gonna look. It's gonna look so good. And we're actually really excited to see this transform. So you can see this side goes right here, and it's gonna look just like that. This is gonna be a little bit of work because we have to weld new structure on the inside of this, because we're gonna be deleting this big, bulky, ugly mess right here. And then it also comes with a mount for the steering column. So all of this is gonna be flat and flush. It's gonna look so good. So game plan, how we're gonna attack this is we're probably gonna get this removed first. So just drill out all of these spot welds, get this bracket removed, and then we'll have to grind these off because they have to get deleted, these flanges right here. So on both sides, grind that side. And then we're gonna lay this up here and then kind of slowly start to mark it and slowly trim away the metal that we don't need. We are gonna try and leave some flanges so we can spot weld everything to it, but we're just gonna take it slow, that way we don't mess anything up. So let's get this chopped off, let's get these flanges gone, and then we'll start to kind of cut away the firewall.
These firewall patches are going to be a lot more complicated than we thought they would be. When we did these bead rolled firewall patches on my Blazer, we didn't replace any of the brake booster structure, but we saw some pictures online and really liked the way that this looked. We of course knew that there was going to be a mountain of issues that we were going to have to figure out, but we figured it was worth the risk. Mike started by removing the flanges on the edge of the firewall so that we could get the firewall panels to sit flush against it and see what metal needed to be removed, while I was working on getting the brake booster bracket removed.
There we go.
Now with the big bulky brake booster bracket removed, we can start to see what we need to do to get this other firewall patch up into place.
Okay, it's the next day, we're back, and let me show you where we got to last night. You can see we got the firewall mocked up on both sides. We got all of this inner structure removed right here because we're gonna be replacing it with that. So now that we got everything flat and screwed in place, we're gonna be able to outline it and then start to cut things away. But before we jump back on the firewall, you can see our roof is rust sealed and it is dry. So we're actually gonna jump back to our roof. We're gonna get this finished up tonight and then we'll jump back to our firewall, hopefully either tonight or tomorrow. As far as for the roof, we really don't have a lot to do. This is pretty much ready to go. We just have to punch some holes all along this for our spot welds, and that'll be pretty quick, and then we just gotta prep our edges a little bit and then we can start to weld. But the goal is to get the entire roof welded on tonight, but we got a lot of welding to do tonight, so me and Mike are gonna jump right on this. But this is gonna be a huge step in this restoration. Metalwork is so close to being done. Let's go! Okay, we got our roof skin welded all the way around, and we did a really good job keeping the welds pretty cold and cooling it, so it didn't warp, but we do have one big problem right now, which is the roof is super stiff here, and then right in the middle, it's oil canning, which is a problem, and then it kind of follows it this way. So we have a potential solution, which is 8115's flexible foam. So we drilled a hole in the inside of the roof right here because there's 2 layers. And what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna stick this right up here like this. And we are just going to pump this whole thing full. And hopefully it fixes the problem.
Es caliente?
That's hot as shit right there. Oh. That's super hot. It's an up, so you can see kind of what that foam looks like. It just expands just like that. Here we go, moment of truth. The Lord has blessed us today. Oh, it's oil canning a little bit here and a little bit here, but I mean, it's not bad. Ooh, está caliente. Muy caliente. Yeah, we're good. Look at that. Alrighty guys, our roof is finished, and honestly, it turned out way better than we thought it was going to. We were a little nervous because chopping this up and getting it to fit the Blazer was definitely out of our comfort zone. Like I said, this is built for the trucks. And I was really nervous that we were gonna warp the back of this cutting it, just because that's a long cut and this is such thin sheet metal. But luckily we were able to get it on, we were able to get it good. The whole thing is solid all the way across, so we're gonna be able to bodywork this really nicely. And this is one step closer to finishing up the metalwork on this cab. So now, really the last big thing we have left is our firewall panels. So we got both the firewall patches mocked up on here. This passenger one is gonna be pretty easy to do. We'll just cut it out and weld it in. The driver one is gonna be a little bit more technical. But as soon as we finish this last metalwork, the cab will be completely finished metalwork wise. So we're gonna work on getting this traced and cut out first. And then once we have this one good, we'll jump to that side and figure out what we have to do to make everything fit on that side. Alrighty, well, our rusty firewall patches are off, and you can see now it has revealed this giant space that we now have to fill. We did find a little bit of rust issues back here that we are going to have to patch and deal with, but overall it's not too bad. This side is actually coming along really nicely. The other side is not. We've got the pedal assembly in because it bolts up straight against this. If you remember, this was the big bulky unit that was here before. It looked like that. And this is the new one that sits like this. So the whole purpose of this is to clean up the firewall and make it look really nice. This piece is then going to come and sit over the top of it, just like this. And you can kind of get a glimpse of what we are trying to do right here. So the biggest issue right now, this outer patch is supposed to sit up flush against this right here and weld to it. But you can see this is a 1/8 inch plate, and it's gonna space the firewall out about 1/8 of an inch. So that is a problem because now we're not flush up against this. The other problem that we're running into right now is you can look down here and look how big this gap is right here. It is absolutely horrendous. So the firewall has to go against that though, because there's no flex. I mean, this is an 1/8 inch plate, like I said. So what will be the game plan? I honestly don't know how this is gonna be a little difficult right here. I mean, we're already gonna have to rebuild all of this because, I mean, it is what it is. But all of this down here, we're not 100% sure. I mean, we're probably gonna have to slit this all right here and suck it in. Probably rebuild this whole flange right here. Probably gonna slit this whole flange off and pull it 1/8 inch out. That way it comes over the top of this, and then it will spot weld to this, and then the firewall will spot weld to that. But if we do that, is that gonna cause issues up here, Mike? That is, huh?
Probably.
That's gonna cause issues. Oh, this is gonna be really hard. This is a lot harder than we thought. All right, well, it's a new day. We decided to take off last night and kind of ponder and figure out.
Ponder or pray?
We decided to take off last night, ponder and pray, and try and come up with a solution for this firewall. But I think we have a solution now. Mike has got most of this metal moved in, so now this patch is gonna fit nicely over the top of this. All he's gonna do now is pretty much just fix this rot right here and then start to tack this piece in. And as far as the complex side of things, we decided that instead of bolting this plate up to this outside right here and having it bulge out past our firewall flange, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna remount the mounts where the pedal mounts. That way we can get this whole surface to move in a little bit so it sucks this plate in, and then we'll trim this so that this sits right up past it, and then we'll be able to weld our new firewall patch right to this, and then also to the top of this, and hopefully that'll bring it up flat. As far as down here, we're probably gonna have to cut this out and build a new piece, just because this is gonna sit so much farther in than the stock one. We have this huge space right here. So we're just probably gonna bend this piece on the brake and bend it in and figure out how to do that. But I think that is the easiest solution for us. So I'm gonna get the pedal reamed and move forward while Mike is gonna get that raw patch, and then hopefully we're gonna get both of these tacked in tonight.
Whenever you're modifying something, you're bound to run into issues. A lot of times people just want to jump right in and get it done, but especially when building custom cars, it's important to take a step back and look at all the potential issues that you may face and go over all your options and choose the least invasive option. Because one simple overthought could cost you tons and tons of problems down the line. And a lot of times you don't know what the correct answer is. We aren't 100% sure this is going to work, but this is the best option that we can see right now. I really don't think that reaming out the mounts on the brake pedal and sliding it back is going to cause us any issues. So that's the option that we chose. While I was reaming out the brake pedal bracket, Mike was repairing the inner structure on the firewall. This has to be done before he can get the exterior panel mocked up because it's welded to that inner brace. Now with the pedal reamed out, I can test fit it and start to see if we're moving in the right direction. The pedal gets slid into place, the bolts get snugged up, and the new brake booster brace can get test fit. Now since this brace is free floating, I'm going to be tacking in a support brace on the inside of the firewall, connecting the brake pedal bracket to the firewall. This ensures the bracket won't move when I'm mocking up the exterior firewall patch.
Okay guys, well, we got the firewall patches pretty much all trimmed out and in and where they're gonna be, and they look absolutely phenomenal. So I had to weld in this brake pedal plate on my side, and it actually came out pretty dang good. So now this is going to spot weld to this, and that's gonna make it really strong. And then I'm also gonna pull the brake pedal out and weld it from the back as well. That way it's really strong there. You can see this is all rusty and bare inside here and on both sides. You can see how rusty it is in there. The sandblaster really can't get in there. It's just too hard to get to.
Yeah, you just can't fit in it.
Yeah, you literally just can't get anything in there. So all of this is rusty on the bottom. So what we're gonna do now is we're going to rust seal this entire inside and then the back sides of these as well. That way everything is coated before we start welding. So we're gonna hurry and start rust sealing this now before we get out of here tonight. And then we're gonna come back in a couple days when this is really cured, and then we'll get everything prepped and welded in. But this is kind of the final stretch. I mean, just getting this painted and then we can start welding and get this thing done. Overall, we're both really happy with how this is coming out. We kind of messed mine up when we did mine, and we learned a lot. A lot of expensive mistakes, but this one is coming out absolutely phenomenal, and we can't wait to see this finished. Alrighty, we are back and all of our rust seal is dry. So now all we have to do is we gotta clean up all of our edges all the way around. That way we can weld the firewall on. Mike has one little patch that he has to weld in right here because we had a little bit of rust right there. So he's gonna start on that, get that welded up. Well, I am gonna jump on the other side and kind of figure out what I gotta do to get this firewall to fit up. But we should have this done and welded tonight. That's the goal. But it's a lot of welding, so let's get this going. Alrighty guys, and just like that, the metalwork on the cab of this Blazer is completely finished. We've still got a handful of modifications to do to our body, but most of the major metalwork is finished now. These Firewall patches came out absolutely amazing. We definitely took our time and made sure to get these as flat as we possibly could. That way there's gonna be minimal mud on the firewall. I think deleting this whole brace right here and moving it behind was definitely a good decision. It really cleans up this whole area and it makes this firewall really look good. So in the next video, we are going to be finally revealing to you guys what motor we're planning to throw in this Blazer build. So if you guys aren't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. If you guys aren't subscribed, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.